My name is Carson. Welcome back to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we've got a workbench full of adjustable drop hitches. About 3 years ago, we did a video comparing the ultimate adjustable drop hitch, and that video performed really well. In today's video, we're gonna double and even triple down. We've got a dozen hitches right here on the table. We're gonna talk about a few more, but today's video, we're gonna be discussing the best adjustable drop hitch. So we've got everything from mega heavy duty, 21,000 pounds, to aluminum hitches, easily adjustable. We've got the whole gamut right here on the table. So in today's video, I want to do a really in-depth comparison of these hitches and really talk about what makes these all different from each other, what makes them all the same, and help you decide what's the best hitch for you. For starters, let's do a brief overview of each hitch. I do have a longer version of this review of each individual hitch on a separate video, so if you want to know more about a specific hitch, be sure and check out those videos. Well, let's start here on my right. We've got the Rhino adjustable drop hitch. This is probably best known for the single pin pull, able to go up and down, one pin, easily adjustable, lightweight aluminum hitch. Next we have the Trimax Razor. This is a lightweight aluminum hitch. Also has a singular pin with a built-in lock tumbler. Great offering. I think this is on the lower end offering. One of the newest offerings from WaySafe is this Arrow hitch. It has this really cool clamshell design which allows it to go from a 2-inch ball to a 2 5/16 inch ball with a clamp, as well as this comes with a scale on the side here. Here is the probably the original WaySafe design, and we've got a steel option here, we've got the aluminum option here. One of the issues with the aluminum is that you have to pull an internal pin and swap out the ball, and so there's extra components, and I think WaySafe did a great job of overcoming that issue with the clamshell design. We've got the Andersen rapid hitch. This is also a single pin operation for up and down transitions. This also has the greaseless ball option. You can get this with or without this, but it's basically a nylon top surface that does not need to be greased. Also, very lightweight design. Moving through into our heavier options, we've got the GenY hitch. We basically have an extension, hitch extension with 3 different slots for you to choose from, with a dual ball on there, as well as we've got the pintle option on here. GenY also has a really neat option on here, which is their adapter that can be screwed on with Allen keys, and this converts their 2-inch to a 2 5/6 or to a 2.5 inch hitch size, and this was installed from them when they shipped it for my new truck, but I can always remove this and put this on some of our old trucks, so that's a really cool option that GenY offers. The Curt hitch is just a really simple design, 2 pins, very simple channel design. We move to the Bulletproof hitch. So here we've got the 2.5 inch shank as well as the 2-inch shank that I did a review on several years ago. Very, very heavy duty. The GenY, the Bulletproof are probably the top end as far as weight ratings, and very, very heavy duty, very durable. Again, channel design on many of these options on this steel end. This comes with a powder coat finish with the turnover ball. And again, I would say Bulletproof is best known for their heavy duty applications. We'll move into the shocker hitch. We've got again a 2-pin channel design, and then we also from Shocker have their bushing, which is supposed to help take some of the shock out of the load. Really nice powder coat on these guys, and some really interesting design options. And one of the hitches I had in my previous comparison video was the B&W Tone Stove hitch, and that is one of my favorite hitches. At the time, I only had one work truck. It was only me. I was working solo, and I didn't have a need for it. So I shipped it off to my cousin for further testing and review. I wanted to do a long-term test on that, and he still has that hitch. But I will say that has been a great hitch for him. I really like that hitch in my initial testing and review. I think it's an excellent option. In my experience looking at the used aftermarket options with the B&W, it looks like it holds up really well durability-wise, and it's definitely a hitch I would recommend. It's not a hitch we're going to be able to review today, but it's definitely worth considering. So when it comes to hitches, there's really a huge array of options that you can get. My main goal with this comparison was I was looking for a 4 to 6 inch drop with a 2-inch shank and a 2 5/16 inch and a 2-inch ball was really what I was looking for. You can see here I've got a few options that are a little bit outside of that range. Like here we've got the shocker hitch, which adds a component. Here we've got the 2.5 inch shank on the Bulletproof. We've got a 2.5 inch shank adapter on this one. And we also have a 2.5 inch shank on the Rapid Hitch. Next, let's talk about weight ratings. Again, some of these weight ratings are going to be a little bit skewed. If they've got a bigger, like a 2.5 inch hitch on them, that may change what the ratings are. But starting on the Rapid Hitch, their 2.5 inch receiver has a 14,000 pound rating. And this does come with a 2 5/16 inch ball, as well as they've got this converter ball. Comes with this little carrying case. The Trimax Razor has a 10,000 pound rating with a 1,500 pound tongue weight rating. The WaySafe Arrow max weight of 12,500 pounds and a max tongue weight of 1,500 pounds. And because this is a ball adapter, that max weight rating would max out for both ball sizes. This older WaySafe's a little bit dirty, so I'm going to clean this off real quick. This 2 5/16 inch ball is rated at 10,000 pounds, and the 2 inch ball is rated at 8,000 pounds. The Rapid Hitch is rated at 10,000 pounds for the 2 5/16 inch, 8,000 pounds for the 2 inch, and it has a tongue weight rating of 1,500 pounds. The GenY Mega Duty, we've got a weight rating of 16,000 pounds with a 2,000 pound tongue weight rating. And then on the ball specifically, we've got a 12,000 pound weight rating on the 2 inch, and we've got a 16,000 pound weight rating on the 2 5/16 inch. On the Curt, we've got a 14,000 pound rating on the 2 5/16 inch and a 10,000 pound weight rating on the 2 inch. On the 2.5 inch shank Bulletproof, we've got a 12,000 pound weight rating on the 2 inch ball, and we've got a 22,000 pound weight rating on the 2 5/16 inch ball. Coming in a close second, we've got 20,000 pound weight rating on the shocker hitch, 2 5/16 inch, and then on the 2 inch ball, we've got a 10,000 pound weight rating. Pretty much a common denominator amongst the 2 inch balls. We're about 8,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds. Once you get above that, typically a trailer that's going to need more than that is going to come with a hitch that's 2 5/16 inch anyways. So really, for most people, if you're hauling heavier, you're going to have a larger ball, and so just make sure that that larger ball meets your capacity. For example, the Andersen only has a capacity of 10,000 pounds for the 2 5/16 inch. Same thing with the WaySafe, 10,000 pound weight rating, and the Trimax Razor, also 10,000 pound max weight rating on the 2 5/16 inch. Let's talk about the physical weight of each product. We've got the Andersen Rapid Hitch at 11.9, the WaySafe at 14.3 pounds. We got the Trimax Razor at 14.3. Got the WaySafe Arrow, 18.1. Got the Rhino, 24.7 pounds. We got the Shocker XR, 28 pounds. Got the Curt, 30 pounds. We got the GenY with the 2.5 inch adapter, 34.4. We got the Shocker Impact with a 2.5 inch shank, 35.3. Got Bulletproof, 37.7. Bulletproof, 2.5 inch shank. We got 43.9. Aluminum hitches are by far the lighter option. They are also the lighter duty when it comes to the weight capacities you've seen. Another thing that the aluminum lacks in the material is its strength. Because it's aluminum, it's a little more malleable. This Rhino hitch I purchased used, and it's got some pretty big burrs and nicks and dings in here, because if something harder than it touches it, it will scratch it and nick it. Same thing here with this WaySafe. You can see where our tongue has hit that and scratched it a little bit. Some of these hitches that haven't been used haven't seen the wear and tear. In my experience, usually the steel hitches hold up a lot better to that wear and tear. The advantage to the aluminum also is the durability and the coating. The aluminum doesn't rust. The metal, once the paint chips off, it begins to rust. You can see we've got surface rust on this Bulletproof hitch. A lot of these other hitches haven't had the wear and tear time to show, but I do have some clips that I want to bring in here and show you what all these hitches look like after years of abuse. So what I've done here is I've gone on Facebook Classifieds and just searched all of these different hitch brands, trying to find a good idea of what each hitch looks like on the used market after who knows how many miles worth of use. But you can see here what each brand looks like. So here we've got the Shocker hitch. And here's a look at the Bulletproof hitch. Here's a look at the Curt hitch. This is what a used GenY hitch looks like. And here we have a look at the Andersen rapid hitch. Here are some photos of some used WaySafe hitches. Let's take a look at the Trimax Razor. And let's take a look at the Rhino hitch. Here are some photos of the B&W hitch. Now another item when it comes to choosing the best adjustable drop hitch for you will be the size. You can see here by the size of some of these packages, we have an extra large box here, we've got some medium sized boxes, and down to very small sized packages. These are their shipping packages. It's not always going to be a true indicator of the actual size of the product. On this Trimax Razor, you can see the hitch is very much disassembled in the box here, but some of these hitches you can actually put back in the box for storage, and it's easily reinstalled on the vehicle hitch, and some manufacturers actually recommend using their shipping box for storage for your application. So one thing in consideration of whatever hitch you choose is the actual dimensions of the product or how you plan to store it. Could definitely be a deciding factor in what you decide to go with. Now, another thing on those same lines is this Trimax Razor. It requires a little bit of assembly, whereas some of these hitches literally come fully assembled right out of the box. So this Trimax Razor, we've got to put our key in, pull our little tab out. We can then slide it on here, push that pin in place, and then we have to screw together our ball. And I'm going to set this up with the 2 7/8 on top and the 2 inch on the bottom. This has a lock washer, and then these come with a 1/2 inch square end right here that allows you to tighten this down. So I would put that in the con category of the Trimax Razor, in the sense that you have to assemble that, and once that is assembled, you cannot store it back in the box for easy storage. When it comes to size, I think the WaySafe Arrow definitely has everything else beat. This is definitely the sleekest hitch available that I've seen. Now let's talk about some extra features and offerings that some of these companies offer. I'm not going to go in depth into all the different offerings because we could really get out into the weeds on these, but these are just kind of some brief overview of things you can look for if you're interested. Here from Bulletproof, we've got their pintle adapter, and this basically slides on here. Drops in place, you drop the top pin in, and then you can put a pintle on there. So Bulletproof hitches offers a pintle option. On this Curt hitch, we also can have a pintle adapter that bolts right up to the C channel, so that gives you an option there. Also on this GenY, they have a really neat feature where it's kind of reset. Unlike the Bulletproof, that has to be removed and reinstalled, whereas this one, you pull the pin, slide that out, and then you put the pin in that slot behind it, and now you're able to receive a pintle right there. We also have some unique ways of having a dual ball setup. Many of these already have a dual ball where it's got 2 balls, but then we've got the WaySafe Arrow with the clamshell. We've got the original WaySafe hitch with the ball that can be removed, and the way that works is you remove this portion, lift it off. Inside here is an internal pin that holds that in place. You pull that pin out this way, then you're able to remove this ball and insert the new ball, and then you slide that new pin in place, and then that ball is sitting against here, and that prevents it from coming out. On the rapid hitch, we've got this design that allows the pin to remove out the side, then it can be removed off, set the new one on, and then you push that pin back in, and that locks it in place. Same as the clamshell design. When the tow ball is on there, that holds that pin and prevents it from coming out. Same thing with the clamshell design. They recommend not leaving this on when the vehicle is in motion. That only needs to be on the vehicle when a trailer is attached, and it's not going to allow that clamshell to come off. Also, many of these manufacturers offer locking pins. Some of them are integrated into their pin system, like this WaySafe has a dual pin setup, which allows for one key to operate 2 pins and pulls out, and so that's kind of a unique design. A lot of offerings come with a keyed setup. Here the Rhino has a key pin. We also, the Rapid Hitch has its own key. We've got a key on this guy. So many of these come with the option to purchase from the factory a key system that sets up with it. I think Bulletproof has one as well, where you can lock these pins and prevent theft of this portion, as well as you can lock it to the vehicle. When I ordered my initial WaySafe, I only had the 4-inch drop, and I needed more than that. So I ended up purchasing another 6-inch drop kit, and that worked perfect. So having the ability to purchase individual parts is also nice from some of these manufacturers. Shocker Hitch has their impact feature, which is pretty unique compared to the rest of these. And they also have an airbag system. And some of these hitches you can get really expensive. Most of these kind of fall into the $250 range, but some of these hitches can get quickly into the $500 or $1,000 range or even more, depending on what you're wanting. But this Shocker Impact's a good, inexpensive shock option without the added costs of doing the airbag or other upgraded options that some of these manufacturers offer. GenY also offers this anti-rattle attachment, which slides over the hitch, and then when it's attached to the vehicle, you can tighten down these screws, and that prevents this hitch from rattling on the tow vehicle. And that kind of brings us to another subject. The more pins these have, the more chance of these things rattling and just being annoying. So here we've got a two pin system. Same thing with the Shocker Impact. The Bulletproof. We've got another 2-pin. The Bulletproof OG. We've got the Curt. Quite a bit louder, honestly, a lot more movement in there. We got the GenY. And this is a hitch in a hitch. We've got the Andersen Rapid Hitch. We've got the WaySafe. This WaySafe does have the ball individually moves on that pin there, and we've got a 2-pin system here. So there's a couple of moving points there. The arrow hitch, this ball is fixed. This clamshell does slide around and rattle a little bit. It's a singular pin. Actually really tight tolerances on this arrow. I really like that setup. We've got the Trimax with a singular pin. Rattles quite a bit. This Trimax, the way this tightens down, we've got the 2 1/2-inch bolts that needs to be screwed down to tighten it. That's not tightened it currently at the moment. And then the Rhino hitch is actually pretty firm. Not too much rattling. It's not a very specific test, but that is something to consider as well. Another consideration is adjustability. Some of these hitches have very close holes to one another that allows you a lot of adjustment. That also could reduce the strength, the distance between these holes. The further the distance, the stronger that is. So on the Bulletproof hitches, the distance is about 2 inches apart. Whereas in this Curt, they're about every 1 inch. On this Arrow, they're every 1 inch. So that affects the adjustability. The Rhino hitch is probably the easiest to adjust with a single pin pull, and I think you have almost infinite adjustability as far as where your stopping point is. The Trimax Razor, we've got about 1 inch spacing. The WaySafe, 1 inch spacing. The Andersen, 1 inch spacing. The GenY has pretty, I think it's like 2.5 or 3 inch spacing, and you can order these with offsets, so you can get this hitch with it coming straight through. So we got a through shank here, and then 3 below, and then you can also get this where it's 1 inch above. So you do have some adjustability, but you have to order that when you buy the hitch. 1 inch, 2 inch on the Bulletproof, and 1 inch on the Shocker. So if you need more infinite adjustability, I would not go with the Bulletproof or the GenY. If having, it plus or minus 2 inches is okay, then you're okay going any of these options really. Another consideration is the distance from the tow vehicle. Some of these hitches have a pretty far distance from the pin to the ball. Now, sometimes longer is better, and I'll show you an example right here. Let's talk about why distance from the hitch is important. Oh look, nice little ding in the tailgate. I wonder if that wouldn't have happened if this distance was wider. Now, one reason having a shorter distance is better is for weight ratings. If your tongue weight is extra heavy, the longer you extend this out, the more tongue weight you're going to have and the more that's going to affect the tow vehicle negatively. So having that ball as tight into the tow vehicle as possible actually will help your tongue weight ratings and help your rear axle weight ratings. So if you're right on the edge of your weight ratings, that's something to consider as well. I always try to use the closest pin so that it's the shortest distance, but as you saw on my truck, maybe I should have been using and that was actually on this WaySafe. This WaySafe has 2 pins, like most of these do. And I always use it on this ball. And maybe I should have pulled it to this one. It's only about an inch difference, but that inch difference could have made a pretty big difference in that tailgate. So let's really quickly measure the distance from the pins to the ball. The rapid hitch is going to be hard to measure because the radius on that ball as it goes up and down is going to get closer to the truck as it's on the high position and the low position, and it's going to be the furthest away on the straight out position. So here right now we have the straight out position. It's going to be at the longest roughly 15.5 inches. The rapid on the longest is 10 inches. WaySafe 9.5. The WaySafe Aero about 9.25. We've got the Andersen rapid hitch 9.75. The GenY we got 12.5. We got the Curt at 11.5. We've got the 2-inch Bulletproof at 13. We got the 2.5-inch Bulletproof at 14. We got the Shocker Impact at 11.5. And we got the Shocker XR at about 11. One neat feature that the B&W turnover ball offers is the ability to turn over the ball and bring it inside the tow vehicle so that you're not hitting your shins on it. Most of these hitches don't have that capability. Some of these hitches you can remove this adapter, and some of these you can actually add a step attachment on here as well. But I will say the original WaySafe, if you have at least a 6-inch drop or greater, you're able to take this and swing it around the backside and tuck it underneath there, like the turnover ball. But of these hitches, that's the only one that does that. The rest of these are only able to be used in the normal use position. We've talked a little bit about material choice. We haven't really talked about paint or powder coat. I think the photos of the used hitches kind of give you an idea of the durability better than what I can maybe describe, because a lot of these are new products. On the aluminum hitches, like I said, they're not really going to change colors. Sometimes they will get oxidized. Whereas we have rust over here, we have oxidization over here. But the biggest thing with the coating on these is that they do wear out a little bit faster because it's a softer material. Of these hitches, as far as durability goes, I think the coating on this should hold up well. We've got a good ball coating system here. We do have like a powder coat here, but it's a pretty smooth powder coat, so I think that should hold up really well. This ball should hold up really well. I think with a little bit of wear and tear, the Curt painted or powder coated metal will eventually start rusting. We know through use that the Bulletproof will start rusting. You can see where it's sat in the hitch, and we've got the paint and powder coat chipping off as well as it's chipped off the ball. So we know that longevity is not there forever. I think the Shocker has what feels like a really good coating on there as well. And then they've got a different coating here. If I were going to guess of the painted and powder coated hitches, I would say that I think the GenY and the Shocker are probably the highest quality, just visually, not really doing any testing. I think the WaySafe would be a close second, and then I think the Bulletproof and the Curt kind of in the same ballpark as far as their durability over time and their likelihood of rusting and kind of looking not nice over time. Let's talk about maintenance and wear and tear. On the shocker hitches, we've got the XR, which is going to be a very low maintenance option. Grease your ball, that's it. The impact is probably going to have a little more maintenance, where you've got a couple of more moving components. We've got this main pin and we've got this impact portion, so that might have some wear and tear. Grease your ball, grease your ball, grease your ball. The GenY, with this adapter on here, the 2-inch, 2.5 inch adapter, you might have to check that for torque. If you're going to use one of these sleeves, you might going to have to check that for torque occasionally. And grease your ball. I mean, these all have just normal pins, nothing really complicated there. The WaySafe. I think WaySafe has an excellent warranty. I've never had a need to warranty mine. I've been using mine for probably the last 3 or 4 years now. Scale still works, so I'm not concerned about the longevity of that, but that might be a maintenance component. I think they will warranty that for you if that ever does go out. And aside from that, really simple setup. Grease your ball, and don't lose this. That is a component that could be easily lost if you accidentally leave that on. Same thing with the Rhino hitch and the WaySafe. If you've got these extra balls rolling around, these are things that can be lost. The WaySafe does have some extra components. I've had to do some service on this to keep that in easy, good operation. The Andersen rapid hitch with the greaseless ball, you don't even have to grease that. So this could be a really good option. We've got a lot of moving components here. I think these have some type of nylon bushings in here. And this hitch has obviously been used. This ball is pretty well worn out. I'm really impressed with this Rhino hitch and how well that's hold up. I picked that up for 250 bucks. I think the marketplace ad on this one said it was 400 bucks from Rhino. So they obviously put some miles on this. We do, like I said, have some burrs on here, and the balls have definitely seen their wear and tear, both the 2-inch and the 2 5/16 inch. But wear and tear wise and the functionality, this thing's flawless. So unless they maintained it well, I think it's just a good design. Trimax razor. Should be pretty problem-free. Let's talk about heavy duty versus light duty. Obviously, steel, heavy duty, aluminum, light duty. As far as the heaviest duty hitches, I have to say Bulletproof's the winner on that. Shocker is a close second, and the GenY is a close third. And really, GenY is just this model because they have some heavier duty models as well. So we've got the XR, which is kind of an entry level. We've got the Impact, which is a little bit step up, and again, Shocker has several iterations above this. This is probably one of the biggest dogs that Bulletproof offers. This is a pretty heavy duty hitch. You can get lighter duty or medium duty hitches. These are both solid shank. This Curt is also a solid shank. So all very heavy duty offerings. I would say this WaySafe is honestly on the light end class with all the aluminum hitches. But again, it serves a purpose, and they have some heavier duty offerings as well. I would have to say our Trimax razor is our lightest duty offering, both the weight capacities as well as the design. Having this hole in the middle here kind of takes away for me from the design of this setup and the way that's bolted together. That's a little bit of a maintenance component, and just feels lighter duty. The Rhino, honestly, from what I've seen, and I've never used this hitch, I literally just picked this up today. It looks like the Rhino's a heavier duty hitch than the WaySafe. I still love the WaySafe because it has that offering of having the scale. Honestly, for most people towing, for our landscape business, we're hauling different loads all the time. I can use that, as well as a homeowner that's going to be, is not using a trailer very often. They can use that. So really, the WaySafe really fits a lot of people really, really well. I will say, as far as the aluminums go, I think the pin system on the WaySafe and the Rhino are a little bit more bulletproof. We've got 2 pins on this guy. We've got these big, long, strong arms on this one, and both the Trimax and the Andersen are a single pin operation. So that could be a weak point as well. Not saying they're not strength. I would definitely go off of their tow ratings, but again, food for thought, things for consideration. Now that we've got all of our thoughts out on the table, now it's time to decide what is the best adjustable drop hitch for you. If I was a new tower, doesn't know what I'm doing, I need a little bit of help, going the WaySafe route is an excellent option. You're going to have a little bit of assistance in knowing what your tongue weight is and if you're going to have any issues towing. If I was looking for someone that's constantly adjusting my hitch, I might look at the B&W or I might look at the Rhino hitch. Quick, easy to adjust, options and offerings. If I'm towing mega heavy, if I've got a show truck, I'm going to be choosing the GenY, the Bulletproof, or the Shocker. And maybe even the Curt. If you're towing heavy duty and you want simplicity, I'd go with the Curt. If you want a little bit more showy setup, I'd go with one of these other three options. I'm constantly switching balls out. We really have a lot of options on the market. Probably last place is going to be the WaySafe original. Changing out this ball is a little bit of work, and if you're changing out your ball size frequently, I probably would not recommend this. Vertical adjustability has to go to the Rhino hitch. One pin, unlimited up and down option. All the rest of these, if you're wanting to go from the lowest low to the highest high, you've got to pull this out of your hitch and flip it over and stick it up the opposite direction in order to get a rise instead of a drop. So, Rhino definitely wins in that category. Close seconds, I would have to say, would be a lot of these aluminum options. We got the WaySafe, we got the Andersen, we've got the Trimax. These are all single pin operation. You pull it, you adjust it, you pop it back in. So as far as in the lower terrace or the upper terrace, those are single pin operations. Same thing with the GenY. One pin to adjust up or down. The rest of these are all, again, two pin adjustability. Special features and attachments, I would have to say would go to the GenY and the Bulletproof. Both of these seem to have quite a few offerings. I think Shocker Hitch also has a couple of offerings as far as attachments that go in here, like the pintle adapter. So if you're looking for that option, and really the Curt does too. I mean, I wouldn't say it has as many options, but it does have some options. But if you're looking for ultimate adjustability and different features and doodads and attachments, I would probably say the Shocker, the Bulletproof, and the GenY. Now the big question is, what do you have on your truck? What do you have and why do you like it? Share in the comments down below so everyone else can know from your experiences. And if you don't have a hitch and you're trying to decide what to buy, what are you leaning towards? And ask any questions down in the comments below. I can either answer that or someone in the comments can let you know answers to your questions. So hopefully this video was informative. Hopefully this video helped you make a decision as far as what direction you're going and answered some of your questions. Now we have all these things in one place so we can really compare apples to apples, unlike is easy to do online. Without anything further said, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching Thrifty Garage. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Easy peasy, just like that. Just